Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Summerfield, Florida, and welcome to my weekly YouTube live. Oh my gosh. I should have had my camera all set up, but it's not. Oh, right. My camera is all crazy. It's all lopsided. Okay, hold on. Oh my goodness. Okay, hopefully you don't get too motion sick from that. All right, okay, well, we're still a little cockeyed here. I don't know what the deal is with this little holder, but it is not wanting to work. Give me 1 second. It's a little better. All right. Well, how is everybody doing? Did you guys have a great week? Hi, Jeanne. Thanks so much for joining. Did you have a great Mother's Day? How was your Mother's Day celebration? I hope everybody had an awesome Mother's Day and you got to do something fun or relaxing. It's always nice, right? Let me bring up my live here so I can see as you guys comment. Turn my volume down. There we go. All right. So we actually, what did we do? We went to the movies, which we haven't gone in forever. We couldn't even remember the last time we went, and we saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That was what one of the newer movies that we went to go see. I didn't care what we saw. I just like to go to those movie theaters with the little reclining seats, and I thought that was really cool. So as long as I got to do that, I was happy. I didn't care what movie we went to see. It was actually pretty good. It was long though. It's like 2.5 hours long. So my son actually almost took a nap at one point because he was just eating all kinds of popcorn and they got full, and then sitting in that movie theater, it was like, oh, I could go to sleep and take a nap, especially when you have those reclining seats. And he had a blanket. He took like a small blanket in with him. It was so funny. So he was ready to take a little nap. So it was really nice. So your son called from Oklahoma. Oh, it's so nice. Hi, Ginger. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for so much for joining us, Mom. Janine Nuttall is my mom. If you see her comment, she does a good job helping me out throughout the videos. If I forget something or forget what something is called, she's usually quick, fast, and in a hurry with an answer. So thanks for helping out, Mom. So today I have some cool projects to share with you. So it's graduation season coming up. It's wedding season coming up. It's, summer is just full of all kinds of cool stuff. So I've got two different, well, it's the same design of a gift card holder, but I have two different, like one feminine and one masculine. So I'm going to share those with you today. Gift card holders are always great any time of the year. And these, you could really make a bunch of them and have on hand for birthdays, graduations, weddings, teacher gifts. If you need end of the year teacher gifts, I feel like gift cards are always a good option to have on hand, and these will fit perfectly in an envelope and you can mail them out too if you need to. So I will probably be making many more of these to have ready to go. So all right, so I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around. We're going to get into a few things I have coming up, and then we'll start our projects. I did want to let you guys know, if you're watching this either live or on the replay and you're waiting for your Stamp Camp to Go products from last month or your product shares, I have those. I just haven't had a chance to cut them yet. My goal is to have them out by Friday of this week. I have all the stuff. It's just I have my in-person classes this week too, so I have a lot going on. So please, please be patient. I really appreciate you guys. And I'm trying to do better on getting stuff out a lot faster. So just be patient with me. I'm still trying to catch up from my awesome vacation a couple of weeks ago. So thank you so much. And thank you for your patience and your understanding. So I will have those out. So just be checking your email. If you don't have an email from me by Friday with the shipping information for your Stamp Camp to Go packets and or your product shares, just reach out to me and I'll help you out with that, okay? All right, so let's turn the camera around real quick here. I'm always nervous that I'm gonna turn this off and then I like freak out. Okay, so We have bingo. I am going to be hosting a virtual bingo on my YouTube channel. It's always lots of fun. Um, my goal is to have your packets to you before bingo starts, but I need to have at least 10 people sign up for bingo in order for it to happen. And I only have 2 signed up so far. So if you're interested in bingo, you don't have to pay for it just yet. But I just need to have an idea of how many people are interested because like I said, I need at least 10 people to sign up and play in order to be able to cover the prizes. But I do want to do it. It's lots of fun. We will make 3 different projects, likely cards, and I'll also have a little surprise gift in there. And I will have the tutorial for you. If you attend bingo, that will be emailed to you. That won't be something that I'll share on the video. That'll be special and private just for you as a bingo attendee. And what else? It includes the shipping, and I have it all on here, my little sheet here. So you'll see this in the details section if you click on my blog where that little picture is. It's going to be on my YouTube channel, so you'll be able to watch it even if you're not playing. But I encourage you to play because you'll get your packets for the 3 card kits, as well as that little thank you gift, like a table favor gift that you'll get a tutorial for, and that's only for the people that pay for bingo, that tutorial. And then for each round of bingo, you'll have a chance to win a $50 shopping spree. So, and it'll be 1 winner per game. You won't be able to win more than once. So, the ticket price is $40. And like I said, this is what it all covers. If you're interested, just email me at jen@stampcampwithjen.com and I will put you on the list. I won't be collecting payment until June 10th, which is 2 days before the sign up date. And when you do sign up, if you could pick 5 numbers between 1 through 25, and I will have those down as your bingo numbers. So how it works is we'll make a project and then we'll play a round of bingo, and I'll have a little bag of cards or of numbers 1 through 25, and I'll pick a number and say I pick number 7, and that's one of those 5 numbers that you picked. So that'll be your B. And then if I pick a 10 and that's not your number, you just wait and then until I pick another one of your numbers. It doesn't have to be in that order you gave me, just if I call any of the 5 numbers. And then once I call all 5, you'll type bingo and you'll be the bingo winner. And then you'll have until that Sunday to submit your shopping spree through me. So it's lots of fun. It's a great way to kind of all get together and do a little creating and crafting during the summer. Everybody's traveling all over the place, and this is a Wednesday night at 7 p.m. So my normal live time is when we'll do this, and it'll be lots of fun. So please reach out to me if you're interested. Like I said, I need more people to sign up. I've only got 2 signed up so far, and I need at least 10 to make it happen. And I really want to do bingo. It's lots of fun. Okay, and then the other news for today is the starter kit special. So if you have ever considered becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, or you would like to join my team, or maybe you've been a demonstrator before and you've thought about jumping back into it, now is a great time with the starter kit special. This is going now through May 31st. You get all of these in color products, the stamp pad bundle, the cardstock, the DSP, and the markers, which is an $82 value for free. Plus, you'll get to pick $125 worth of product for only $99. So, oh, Jeanne, you want to play bingo? That's awesome. Can you send me an email and give me those 5 numbers, 1 through 25? If you don't want to pick them, that's fine. I can pick them for you. But if you can just email me at Jen, Jen, at stampcampwithjen.com and let me know you want to sign up, I'll add you to the list. That would be awesome. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, so you can either scan this little QR code, or you can go to stampinup.com and look for my name if you are ready to sign up for your no obligation starter kit. It's really an awesome deal because you can get all these products, and then after you get your starter kit, every order that you make as a demonstrator, you will oh, hi, Mary from Wisconsin. She's one of my snowbirds that comes down here. But anyway, yeah, so once you get your starter kit, Any demonstrator order you place after that, you'll get 20% off of your favorite Stampin' Up! Goodies. So it's really a great deal. If you have questions, I'm always here to talk to you and help you out and walk you through it, okay? So reach out to me anytime. And that's really all I have for the announcements today. Now we'll get into our fun projects. I'm so excited about these, you guys. They're so fun. Okay. So this is the first one we're going to make. I really, really like this one. It speaks to me. If you guys have been around me for a long time, you know I like pink. And then when we open it, it's a little gift card holder. How cool is that? I love this so much. So I'm going to make this one first, and then I'll show you the masculine one that we're going to do after this, okay? And I'll go through how to cut all the paper so it's in the right direction. It looks like me. Thanks, Mom. I just love this paper. So this paper is from the, here we go, the Lily Pond Lane Designer Series paper. It's 6x6 paper. So this first project we're using 6x6 paper, and then the next project we're using 12x12 paper. So I'll show you how to cut the paper for both of these. So it's easier to use paper from 12x12, but since I'm using 6x6, I picked 3 different patterns to kind of stretch my paper a little bit, and I'll kind of show you that as we go through everything. But let's go through this paper in case you haven't seen it before. It is so pretty. I love all of the pretty designs. It's so bright. So the colors in here are balmy blue, granny apple green, gray granite, peach pie, pretty peacock, and pretty in pink. So lots of nice, bright, pretty colors. So this is one of the patterns that we're using. And there's the front. I just love all these flowers. Oh, what are they? Water lilies, I think. And I love how they have big, bold patterns on one side, and then you flip it over and you've got something a little more subdued that you can use on the back side. I just think these are so cute. I love these colors. Little froggy, he's so cute. My mom and my sister are scared of frogs. My husband actually, and this is another pattern we're using, we get these big toads in our driveway in Florida, and I had him pick one up and chase my sister with it. And she was in the car and about to go to my parents' house when they still live down here with me, and she screamed and almost tried to climb in my dad's lap in the driver's seat. She was so scared. It was so funny. I about peed my pants. I was laughing so hard. Oh, it cracks me up. I love my sisters, but it was so funny. Can you tell I'm the oldest and I like to terrorize my little sisters? You are too scared of frogs, Mom. Every time you see one, you squeal pretty loud. So see, nice bold and nice subdued pattern. I really like that. So you can use kind of a more bold pattern if you need it, or a little subdued one for a different project. So those are the 12 patterns, or the 12 sheets rather, 24 patterns front and back. So like I said, we're gonna use these 3 pieces, all these colors. I love these so much. And then our card base here is pretty in pink. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do the base first, and then we'll cut those pieces down. Your husband's afraid of geckos? Oh, wow, Mary. I've never heard of that one. All right, so this one, we have a 4 1/4 by 9 3/4. So if you have a standard, let's see, do I have it? Yeah, let me get it real quick. Just as an example, if you have a 8 1/2 by 11 inch sheet and you're going to make 2 at a time, what I would recommend is on the 11 inch side, just going down to 9 3/4 and chopping off that end. That way you can just score and cut in the middle, and you can get 2 at one time. But I'm just going to do 1 for right now, so I'm not doing that right now. So this is 4 1/4 by 9 3/4. So we need to score this at 1 1/2. And remember, this light gray blade is your scoring blade. Don't cut it. I always just move that away so I'm not tempted to accidentally cut it. So 1 1/2 and 4 1/4. All right, so we have those two score lines right there. And we'll get back to that in a second. So while I have my trimmer out here, I'm gonna show you how to cut this designer series paper. So this piece we're using for this front panel right here. So I need it to be 2 3/4 inch wide with the direction facing in the right way, and then 4 inches long. So we're gonna do 2 3/4, and then rotate it over to 4. And there you have it. So that's the right direction, and that's gonna fit right in there. Okay, so I'll put that little piece back on here. So now we know that's cut 2 3/4 by 4 inches. And then this piece here needs to be 4 inches wide and 2.5 inches tall, I guess. So we can cut this one with the direction, the pattern going the right way. We can cut it at 4 inches wide and rotate it to 2.5 inches tall. Okay. And now that's this piece that's going to go right here at the bottom. Okay. So that's 2.5 by 4. And then our final piece here that's going to go on the inside, this little back panel, this needs to be 4 by 5 1/4. So this one doesn't really matter because it's not directional paper, but I'm just going to cut it at 4, rotate it, and cut it. Oh, this is 5 1/4, not 5 1/2. 5 1/4. I just realized that. Get my little marker here. Just a little Sharpie. 5 1/4. Oops. All right, so that's how you cut the paper so it's in the right position, okay, the right direction. Now, we can move that away. And so back to our base here. So we've got our little score lines we can burnish, because it's basically just going to go like this. This is going to be the inside, and then we fold up. So we fold the bottom flap up, and then we fold the middle up, okay? So we can take this piece that's 4 by 5 1/4, and we put that right in the center here. Oh, and real quick before we keep going, this will all be on my blog. I'm just showing you guys I had these already done. So this piece that's 2 3/4 by 4, this is going to be on the inside. So this is the same size as that panel that's on the front there. So these are both, so you need a white that's 2 3/4 by 4, and then the DSP that's 2 3/4 by 4. And then you have two pieces, this is Pretty Peacock, that are 3 by 4 1/4. And these are going to go behind on the Pretty Peacock goes behind the white and the DSP, okay? So we'll put those together in a minute. Hi, Janice, welcome. We're making gift card holders right now. I have a feminine one that I'm working on right now, and then I'm gonna do a masculine one here in a second too. So you can always go back and watch the replay and get the dimensions, but the dimensions will be on my blog tomorrow afternoon when I post the project details. So you'll be able to go and do it again. But I love this little gift card holder. I think it's so much fun. Okay, so for our little flap here, I am gonna take this piece. So if we're looking at it with the paper, this would be upside down. We're gonna take a 1 3/4 inch circle punch, and you want to put it in just so this top part lines up with this score line, and you want to center it between the left and the right of the panel. So looking at it just like that, this top piece is right along that score line, okay? And then we have kind of eyeball it, center it as best you can from left to right, and punch. And that, to me, is the perfect little notch for your gift card right there. I really like that. So then we're gonna take some tear and tape, and on the inside here, we're just gonna put a little bit of tear and tape along that edge, like so. And now my favorite thing, I always take my bone folder and really press that tear and tape down just to make sure that it's on there nice and tight. And then we're gonna take our spatula end of our take your pick tool, and this is the best way to get that backing off, especially like if you have a hard time. I have these fake nails, I can't really grab it. If you have a hard time, you just put that spatula end under that tear and tape backing and it peels right off. It goes just like that. So that is where our little gift card will go. So like I have a little Starbucks one in here. Colors almost match the green with the pretty peacock, and then that'll fit perfectly in there. Okay, you put whatever gift card you want in there. Okay, and then for this little front panel here, we're gonna take our 2.5 by 4 inch piece that we cut, and we're gonna stick that down right on top of here. Does anybody have any weddings or graduations or anything coming up that they could use these for? I know my nephew is getting married in a couple weeks, and then my mom was just telling me that one of my cousins, who I remember as a little baby, is already graduating high school, and I can't believe it. It's so crazy to me. Oh, so nuts. All right, so I am gonna leave this inside blank for this one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take my white piece and put it on my pretty peacock. It's amazing how time flies, isn't it? It just feels like just yesterday they were little and now they're graduating and becoming grown-ups. It's crazy. The DSP, oh, I know, Jan. It is one of my favorites. I couldn't wait to play with this paper. Okay, so now we're just gonna take this and we're gonna center it over this beautiful, pretty and pink plaid color. And what's helpful is the fact that it's like a grid, so you can make sure that you get it nice and straight in there, which is really helpful. Okay, and then we're going to adhere our DSP to our other pretty peacock layer. So I thought this would be great for a wedding gift card, or it could be like for a teacher appreciation, or it could be like a female birthday. There's lots of different ways you could use this, okay? So to adhere this piece on, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of line it up over where this inside panel is, okay? And then I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna use this edge on our bottom flap here as kind of a guide of where to put my adhesive so that I don't accidentally put it too far up. So I'm gonna put a little strip at the top, a little strip at the bottom, and then another strip in the middle, okay? And by doing that, I am now able to see, okay, I'm not gonna go up over where this crease is. And now we'll just flip that back over and make sure your DSP is right side up when you do this. You don't wanna do it upside down and have to start all over again with your paper. And then we just line that up at the top. You can kind of keep this bottom piece lifted up until you have this all lined up at the top. And once you do, then you just press that bottom part down and make sure it's on there really good. Okay, and now it lines right up. How cool is that? I love it. Okay, now this little heart I got from, oh, you put a whole card together and realize that it's upside down. That's the worst. Or when you do the front and you realize you put it on backwards, like where it doesn't open on the right side. That's crazy. All right, so this little die I got from the Hooray for Surprises dies. I just die cut this heart. Now it is a lot easier for me, I know, to stamp the sentiment and then die cut, but for the purpose of time, I just die cut this out ahead of time and I'm gonna stamp, and we're all gonna hope and pray that it's centered. And then the words that I got are from this Sentimental Park stamp set. So this is still available. This was a carryover from last year's annual catalog, and it's now in the 2024 to 2025 annual catalog. So I'm just using the Let's Celebrate and You. Now, a good way to line these up, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna take these off here. So if you take your stamps, because these are two separate stamps, right? So we want them to be lined up on our die cut. So if you already have a die cut out, and you want to line these up to make sure that these are lined up how you want them to, you can just kind of put them on here. And I'm hoping my stamps are clean so I don't have to do this again. But what you want to do is you can kind of lay these on here. And that's the great thing about photopolymers, that you can see through it. So you can kind of line this up how you want it to look. And then once you have it how you want it to look on the heart, you just take your stamp and stick it right on there. Oh, good, it's clean. And it will stick where you need it to stick, okay? So now we're gonna do Pretty Peacock, one of my favorites. I love this Pretty Peacock, pretty in pink combination. I think this, I'm really digging it. My shirt looks like Sentimental Park. All right, so if you have a hard time opening these ink pads, my little trick for you is to take your thumbs where this hinge is at the top and push down on that hinge, and it will pop open that lid and make it a lot easier to get that open, okay? So now we're gonna ink up our Pretty Peacock, Let's Celebrate You. And I'm gonna stamp it right in the center of our heart. Yay, so pretty. My husband read it as Betis, not Let's. And Bettis is the name of a Steelers player. And so he said, Bettis celebrate you? And I said, no, it says let's. But that's what he saw. I thought that was pretty funny. All right, so we are going to pop this up with some dimensionals right in the center here. Yes, Mom, perfect. I should have said that. I say that every time. Perfect. It came out just perfect. She always teases me about that. All right. Oh man, I don't know how the weather is where you guys are, but it has been raining like crazy here. It like downpoured all day yesterday and today. We were in the middle of my stamp camp classes, and all of a sudden it was like and just so loud and all kinds of rain. It's been nuts. But I mean, it cools everything down and the humidity goes away temporarily, so I'm okay with it. All right, so the little bling, we have to have some bling, right? So I am using the Blooming Pearls, which are also still available. And we could actually probably use these pink ones. They match pretty well, but I really like I think these are Pretty Peacock actually up here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use those Pretty Peacock pearls here. And we are going to grab, so if you've never done this before, at the end of your take your pick tool, there's a little putty end here. And what you use that for, a good tool or a good way to use it, is to take that putty and press against your dimensional, your embellishment. Oh, excuse me. So press against those pearls and it will stick to the back of your putty tip there. And then all you have to do is stick it down on your card. And I'm going to stick it down kind of where there's some green. I like it to kind of match and blend in here. And then it just comes right off on your card. So we're going to do this again. I'm going to pick another one and kind of put it over here. And then I'm going to take a little small one and put it on the bottom there. Actually, I don't like where that is. So if you have an instance where you don't like where something is, you can always pick it up and move it around as well. So sometimes I do that with my little spatula end here, but you don't want to do it too much because you run the risk of the adhesive like coming off of the back of the pearl. But so I did it a little backwards. I put the bigger one in the top left. You can put it on the top right, but as long as you have like a triangular pattern, it's very pleasing to the eye is what I've heard. All right, so that's the feminine one. What do you guys think about that? Do you like that one? It took me a while to come up with it, but once I put all the patterns together, I really liked that one. All right. So there's number one. So let's work on the masculine one now. Let me show you guys that one. Okay. So the masculine one we're going to do is right here. So I thought this was really cool. I had kind of graduation in mind with this one here. So this one, I thought good things come to those who wait. And I even asked my husband, who's very matter of fact, and it has to make sense. He said it does make sense to him. Good things come to those who wait for graduation because you're in school forever. And then you put congrats on the inside. So I thought this was a great way to do a masculine version of this card. You like that I use 6x6 DSP? Awesome, Mary. So this one's using 12x12. You'll see it's a little bit easier to kind of maximize everything with 12x12, but I wanted to show you both ways to use it. So, okay. So this paper, in case you haven't seen it, that we're using is the Country Woods 12x12 Designer Series paper. There's lots of coordinating colors: basic beige, basic gray, crumb cake, early espresso, gray granite, misty moonlight, pecan pie, petal pink, pool party, smoky slate, wild wheat. Lots of colors that coordinate with this one. But I'm going to show you the papers just in case you haven't seen them yet. So this is the one that we're using for the background and the front panel here. So we're going to use both sides of this paper. So I'm going to show you how that works, okay? And then here's another pattern. This is great background paper. I actually got this as a prize patrol at On Stage in Houston. And it's funny because when they put the picture up on the screen, I was like, please don't call my number. Please don't call my number. And then they picked my number. But I've grown to love it, and I figured that's probably what would happen, because when I first saw it, I said, it's not the prettiest, but there's a lot of great uses for this kind of paper. So in the end, I'm happy, and I'm always grateful to get prizes and free stuff, of course. But, oh yeah, that's right. And the Lily Pond Lane I won when I spun the wheel at the Mexico trip, which now I must say, as a incentive trip disclaimer, that less than 1% of demonstrators earn the incentive trip. So, but yeah, so I have gotten both of these papers for free, which is pretty cool. Okay, so that is all the patterns in case you haven't seen these papers for the Country Woods 12x12 Designer Series paper. Kind of went through those real quick so you could kind of see both sides there, okay? And now I'm going to show you how to cut this. So what we want to do first, I have my little cheat sheet here. So we want to cut a piece that is, oops, it's getting a little glitchy. Sorry about that. So we want a piece that's 4 inches by 12 inches, okay? So when we cut it, make sure that the pattern is facing this way. So the wood planks are going, was that vertically? Yeah, vertically. I lose my words sometimes. I don't know if YouTube Live is great to do at night, because that's when I really start, my brain starts shutting down, but that's all right. Okay, so yeah, you want the wood planks to be going vertically, straight up and down, and then we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna cut 4 inches, okay? Now we're gonna rotate it and cut 5 1/4. That's going to be the background. Okay. And then we're going to cut 2 3/4. Actually, well, I'll cut 2 1/2 first. Actually, I'm going to cut 2 1/2. And I'll tell you why here in a second. So that's 2 1/2. So this is the bottom panel here. And this is that back panel on the inside, okay? Now, the reason I cut those first, so now, I don't know if you guys notice this, but it kind of drives me crazy a little bit, but a lot of times when you cut paper, that pressure kind of gives you, it kind of lifts up a little bit. I don't like that. I think that's ugly. So what I am actually going to do is I'm going to rotate it so that cut edge is towards the right, so that it's not going to be in my project. It's going to be part of the scrap. So make sure that that cut edge is to the right if that bothers you like it does me. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. You can cut either side, but I want that over to the right. And then we're going to cut at 2 3/4 with the planks going horizontally now, okay? And now that piece is going to be right on the front. And that's how you get all those pieces. And then all we have left is, what is this, 1.5 inches? So you have a 4 by 1.5 inch scrap that you can save for another project. So that 4 by 12 inch piece, we were able to get all those pieces for our gift card. So if you did these, you could get 3 gift cards using that paper out of one 12 by 12 sheet, and then you'd have a little 1.5 inch by 12 inch scrap left. So that's a good way to maximize your paper for this project. Okay, so now we need to do our card base again. So this is 4 1/4 by 9 3/4. I already cut it down, so you can see 4 1/4 right there by 9 3/4. So with the 9 3/4 inch side at the top, we're gonna score it at 1.5. And remember, we don't want this dark blade, that's a cutting blade. We want to use this light scoring blade. So we're gonna do 1.5. And then we're gonna shift our paper up to 4 1/4 and score there, okay? And really push down when you use that scoring blade to make sure that you get a nice, good score line, okay? Oh, this is Misty Moonlight. Thank you, Mom. That's a good question. This is Misty Moonlight, okay? So we are going to fold up our 2 score lines here and burnish with our bone folder, okay? And then we're gonna take our blue paper here, that wood grain background, and we're gonna center that and adhere it on the inside. I love this. I mean, you could really use both sides, whichever one you liked, but that is how I decided to use it. I don't want it to be too busy, so I chose to use the other side. Okay, so we are going to put this, we're just going to have a little bit of a border here. Okay, and then for our gift card pocket here, so we're going to, if we have our paper up here, we're going to flip it over. And again, we're taking that 1 3/4 inch circle punch, we're lining it up with that score line, and then we're centering it from left to right, okay? So that is how we get that little divot for our gift card holder, just like that. I just think that's the perfect size for that. Perfect. All right, so then we're gonna put our tear and tape in here, just like so. Right here, use our bone folder to really press it down and make sure that that tear and tape's on there nice and tight. And then grab that spatula end of your take your pick tool and watch it lift that tear and tape backing so easily. Love it. I do it all the time. And I'll just press that down and fold that up, okay? And we can take our other wood grain piece, that blue wood grain, and put it on there. And I'm using Stampin' Seal Plus, but you use whatever adhesive you like, whatever you're comfortable with. Glue is always a good idea because you can shift things around if it's not exactly centered how you like it. You use whatever you're comfortable with, okay? All right, so now we have 2 basic gray pieces. These are 3 by 4 1/4. And then I have my basic white piece that's 2 3/4 by 4, which is the same size as our DSP from that Country Woods Designer Series paper, okay? So what I'm gonna do first is I'm actually gonna stamp because I stamped the words congrats on the white, and I like to stamp it before I put it together. Okay, so we are using the Gone Fishing stamp set. So we're kind of mixing old and new for these. So the stamp sets are old carryover stamp sets and the paper is the new product. So I like mixing old and new and kind of showing how you can use some of what you have with some new fun stuff. So we're using Gone Fishing, and that's where I got the good things come to those who wait, and then the congrats is on the inside, okay? And then the die cut that I used is from this Nested Essentials, which is also still current. I used the second largest of these little rectangles here. Now, if you don't have this die, what did I do with my ruler? I knew I was gonna leave it. Well, I guess I could use my grid here. So if you don't have this die and you just want to cut it, it is, let's measure this here, 2 7/8 by about 2 inches. So 2 inches this way by 2 7/8, and that's about the same size as this. So if you just wanted to cut it, you could totally do that. I like the little stitched look that it gives on that die. So I had the die, so I die cut it. But you could always just cut out a piece of paper and round the edges if you don't have the dies, okay? All right, so I already have my stamps here, and we're just gonna use basic gray ink to match that cardstock on the back there. Again, use your thumbs along that hinge to get that lid to pop up. And we're gonna stamp congrats on our white piece here. I just feel like I'm gonna get my hand in this and I'm gonna get ink all over the place. There we go, there's congrats. And then on our die cut here, we're gonna stamp good things come to those who wait. I love photopolymer stamps because you can see through, and if you don't necessarily ink it up enough the first time, you can always go back, which I might have to do. I had to do that earlier because my stamp pad's getting a little dry, it looks like. Yeah, might need to re-ink my pad here pretty soon. I'm gonna try to go over this one more time. So let me try to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing here with this one. So when you line this up, you want to look all the way around the letters here, okay? You can get really, really close, but you want to look at the top, the bottom, the sides, and once you see that it looks like it's pretty much right on top of it, then you just press down. And I was like right above it. And look, voila, just like that. Pretty cool. So that is the beauty of photopolymer, is that you can stamp right over it and line it up and fill it in. If you had markers that matched it, you could try to color that in, but it's just so much easier to just stamp it again. So that is one of my favorite things about photopolymer stamps, is being able to do that. Okay, so now let's finish assembling here. So we're gonna put our congrats on our basic gray piece here. Right here. And then this is gonna go on the inside of our card. Okay, just like this. Just kind of center that. All right. Now we're gonna take our wood piece here, and that's gonna go on that other basic gray panel. It's not really directional, so you don't have to worry about it being upside down or right side up. So again, the same tip as before, we want to line this up because they're the same size. The top piece and the inside piece are the exact same size. We will line that up. We're going to flip it over and use this crease here from this bottom panel as a guide to put our adhesive on the back here. so we don't put it too high up. Okay. And then we're gonna flip it over again. And I'm gonna use my fingers and kind of hold this bottom section up while I line the top up. And once I have these top two corners lined up, then we can press this bottom piece down and it'll be right in place where it needs to be, and just press it. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so now this is gonna go on the center, but first I'm gonna put a little bling on here actually. So I have some adhesive back textured dots and they look kind of metallic. They've got all these little ridges on them. I thought they were kind of cool, looked like a nice little masculine accent. So I, again, am gonna take my putty end and I'm gonna use the smaller dots up here and I'm just gonna put one in each corner, like the little rivets. And oops, I didn't grab that one. Push it down and like that. I thought that looked pretty neat. Okay, and now we're just gonna take some dimensionals on the back here. One in each corner, and then one in the middle. Kind of stabilize it a little bit. I like to push my dimensionals down to make sure they're on there nice and tight so that when I go to take the backing off, the whole dimensional doesn't try to come off with it. And now all my backings are stuck here. There we go. All right, so now I'm just gonna center this right in that panel. And voila, there you go. So what do you guys think of our two gift card holders today? Will you use them? Do you have an occasion to use them? Which one's your favorite? Let me know. Do you prefer the masculine one or the feminine one? I love them both. I think they're great for many, many different occasions. But yeah, let me know in the comments which one's your favorite. I love hearing from you guys. Have you seen this gift card holder before, or is it new to you? Do you have a favorite type that you like to use that's your go-to? I'd love to know. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget, this is my new live time every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I will continue to put the reminders on my Facebook and Instagram, but please mark your calendars and plan to join me. I will have a fun new project each week, and I hope to see you again next week, okay? All right, guys. Well, have a great week. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. And until next time, be safe and happy stamping. Bye-bye.